Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name's Rachel. In today's video, I'm gonna do one of my monthly resets. I'm gonna do my October reset. It is still currently September. It is September 27th, so I do have a few days left of this month, and I haven't quite met my goals for September yet, but I already went ahead and planned everything for October. I'm actually really looking forward to October because it is basically my favorite month of the year. It's my birthday month. Fall is really coming into effect at that point. The leaves really start changing. You get the beautiful fall foliage, and there's all the fall festivals. So I'm really looking forward to it. If you had seen my preparing for fall video, I mentioned that every weekend in October I have something planned, an event or a festival or something to go to. So October is definitely going to be a busy month. But let's just jump right into the September review. I have my Power Sheets goal planner right here on my lap. So I was able to complete most of the goals I created for September. I wanted to publish the autumn reset video, which I did. I wanted to plan my birthday party. I mentioned in my last video that I am going to throw myself a Go More Girls autumn festival themed birthday party for me and my friends. So I have a few pieces of the planning to do for that. I need to find a place to order a cake. So I think this weekend, Kevin and I are going to go to Bethel Bakery and try their cake because he had it before and said it was good, but I'm very picky when it comes to cake, so I want to try it for myself and see if it's good enough to serve at my birthday party. I also wanted to clean the outside of my house for September, which we did. We had some yard work that needed to be done, kind of like the end of the year where all of your flowers that you planted died, so you need to get rid of those. That's basically what we did. I also wanted to switch over my fall clothes, which I did, and decluttered a bunch of stuff as well. I also had on my monthly action items to clean the kitchen trash can, which I did not do. I've been putting that off for like 2 months just because cleaning a trash can isn't exactly what I would love to do with my time. It's definitely a task I don't want to do, but it really needs to get done. So I want to do that before it gets too cold to do it. I also wanted to give myself a pedicure, and I did that last week. So I was able to get that done, and I actually want to try moving forward giving myself a pedicure once a month at least. So that's one of my goals for October. And the last item on my September monthly action list is to publish a bedroom makeover video, which I am almost to that point. The only thing I have to do yet for that video is create the thumbnail and upload it. So I actually plan on doing that tomorrow, the 28th. And if I get that done, I think I'm going to upload it tomorrow, which is a Thursday. And if for whatever reason I don't get the thumbnail done, then I'll upload it and finish it on Friday. As far as the weekly and daily action items go, they have pretty much been the same all year. So I'm not going to go over that with you, and you'll end up seeing it in the October goals anyway. So moving on to the October goals, I have a lot here. My entire area for monthly action items is completely filled. So I'm just going to go down through it. The first 4 things I have are to publish YouTube videos and an October reset, an autumn vlog, an autumn morning routine, and a Chloe Ting challenge video that I've had in the works for a couple months now. And in general, I want to just get back into posting on YouTube. If you are a follower here or if you're new, I have not posted on my channel other than last week since February. And the reason for that is because I kind of went through like a burnout period where I just didn't feel very creative, and I had a lot going on at my full-time job and in my regular life, and I had a lot of self-doubt creeping in about why am I even doing this YouTube channel? Like, who am I? Who cares about me? And so I had to really think about why I wanted to keep going and how I could make that possible and fit YouTube into my life with the way it was. And I did come up with a few ideas, so we'll see if it works. I'm hoping that I'm able to find a balance between working full time and then living my life and trying to have fun and then cleaning and cooking and all the other stuff that we all have to do through our lives. It can be very challenging. So that's kind of one of my main priorities, is to start focusing back on YouTube. Another action item on my list for October is to finish the prep for my party. So I need to go get the decor for my party, and prior to the party I obviously have to clean, and then I have food prep, so that's something that I'm going to be doing over the next couple weeks. Another action item is to finish The Artist's Way. This is week 8, so I only have 3 more weeks left, and I technically should have finished by now because I started a couple months ago, but I got put on a project at work that took up a lot of my time, so I was not able to fit in The Artist's Way, so I kind of stopped on, I think, like week 6 or week 7. So I'm getting back into that now, so I definitely want to finish that in the month of October. The next thing on my goals for October is to take out our air conditioners. We have 2 window air conditioners still in, and it is supposed to get hot this week. I think it's going to be in the high 70s, so I want to keep them in case it does get hot. We are on a 3rd floor apartment, so our apartment is always warm anyway. But at some point, it's really going to start cooling down, and we need to take those out and put them in storage. Another action item is to do a pedicure / foot mask at least once a month, as I mentioned earlier. One of my main goals to focus on this year was self-care and mental health. So I did want to step my skincare up a notch. So that just falls in line with that goal. Another action item for October is to declutter 2 areas of the house. Every year I try to do a full house declutter. So every single thing in the house I go through and get rid of it or donate it, whatever, just because I don't want to have a lot of excess clutter, because we already do have like a cluttered apartment. I'm definitely a maximalist, and we don't have a lot of room. We live in a 1-bedroom apartment. It's me, my boyfriend, and 3 cats. So space is really precious to us. So anything that does not serve a purpose or doesn't get used, I don't want to keep in my house. I want to get that out of the door. And last but not least, I want to read 3 books. I originally went into 2023 saying that I wanted to slow down my reading and really savor what I was reading. But since I also had a goal of really savoring self-care and focusing on that and building a PM routine and cutting back on social media and screen time, I've managed to factor in about 2 hours of a PM routine where I can just relax. And I ended up filling that with reading. So I've been reading a lot more recently, and I'm pretty confident that I can read 3 books in a month, if not more. I did start a book club with 2 of my other friends, so I know I definitely will have 1 book club read, which is typically fiction, and then I want to read like my own choice fiction book, and I have quite a few on my to be read list. And lastly, I'm probably going to read a nonfiction book. I found that reading a nonfiction book right before bed really helps me to fall asleep. Reason being that if I'm reading a fiction book and I'm really into it and it has a really good storyline, I'm not going to want to put the book down. But if I'm reading nonfiction where I'm taking in and processing a lot of information, I guess it kind of like slows my brain down. So I'm not as enraptured in what I'm reading, and I don't have that feeling of, oh, I just one more page when I'm reading fiction. So I definitely want to read another nonfiction book in the month of October. And then for just really quickly for the weekly action items, I just want to make sure I stay up on my weekly cleaning schedule, since I have a lot of stuff going on in October and I have a birthday party with people coming over. I want to make sure the apartment's clean. And I want to do a weekly face mask. That's something I've been trying to incorporate into my skincare routine probably for like the last 6 months now. And I have not been successful at adding that as like a weekly thing to do at night. So I definitely want to try to focus on that. Along the same lines, I want to try to do a weekly manicure. I did get a couple new nail polishes for the next couple months. So I want to just make sure that every week I'm, doing my nails, filing them, trimming them, etc., making them look nice. And lastly is exercise 5 days a week. Becoming a fitness girly is one of my goals for this year. I've been like kind of good about that and kind of not good. Like the first 2 months of the year, I was doing really well and I was really into it. And then I wasn't feeling good and had like a burnout period where I didn't really work out at all in March. And then I got back into it again. And then for 7 weeks, I got put on a really big project at work and I like did not work out at all. I was glued to my desk. I hardly got any steps in and it completely took me out of the rhythm that I was in. And so over the past like week or so, I've tried to get back into that and I'm definitely having a hard time. Like there's days where I go to work out, I'm like, okay, like we'll just do 20 minutes and I'm like 5 minutes in, I'm like, yeah, I really don't want to do this. So instead of trying to like force myself to do lower body, upper body, full body on certain days and certain times, I just want to make sure I'm at least getting in movement. So I want to be more intuitive to my body of like what I want to do that day. So if I want to do a dance workout, I'm going to do a dance workout. If I want to do yoga, I'm going to do yoga. Or maybe I want to go for a walk that day. I think that for too long I've been trying to force myself into you have to follow this regimen and this routine and you have to do strength training 3 times a week because X, Y, and Z says it's important and it's essential, and then you should only do this much cardio and this much HIIT and blah, 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 blah. There's all these rules. And I think hearing from other people talk about fitness online and then having this idea in my mind that I have to follow this set regimen is just why I can't stay consistent. So I want to try a bit of a different approach where I just move, get out from behind my desk, go for a walk, do yoga, whatever. So that is my approach to that. Sorry if the screen or setup here looks a little bit different. My card was full right while I was finishing the last sentence, so I had to switch that out. But anyway, I'm going to just go away from the fitness rant I just went on and just move into the daily action items. So very similar to what they have been all year, and I feel like even the last couple years, the daily habits are just my PM skincare routine. I want to keep up with that. My morning pages, which is a part of the Artist Way that I mentioned earlier. 2 liters of fluids, and then taking my vitamins. Okay, so I want to talk about the books that I read in September. So the first book that I finished was The Lady of the Rivers by Philippa Gregory, and this was a reread. This is part of her Plantagenet and Tudor novels. So for some reason, I was just in the mood to read this book. I kept thinking about it, and I rewatched The White Queen, which is one of my all-time favorite historical fiction TV dramas. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it. So I just put this on audiobook and listened to it again. I love this book. It's actually one of my favorites out of this entire Tudor Plantagenet series that she has. So this is a 5 out of 5, and that's exactly what it was the first time I read it. And then I started the second book in the series, The White Queen, but I have not finished that yet. And I'm listening to that on audiobook as well. So hopefully I can either finish that by the end of this month. If not, I'll probably finish it within the first week of October. The second book that I read in September was The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther. and this was our book club read for this month. And in our book club, we just rotate taking turns picking a book. So this was my friend's pick. It is a YA romance novel, and I absolutely hated this book. The reason I really didn't like this book is because the main characters are really naive, and their romance was super cringy to me. There was times where I was reading it and I had to put the book down and I was just saying ew out loud, because there was one point in the book where they were at a restaurant and they were eating lobster and they were licking butter off of each other in public. And I don't, for some reason, I guess maybe some people think that's cute and endearing, but to me, I find that really disgusting and inappropriate to do in a public setting. So that was very cringy to me. And of course, the characters were young, they were in college, so they were very naive and immature. And I felt like the main character, she just like couldn't live without a man. Like she just flung herself at a man after just getting out of a high school relationship that she was in for a couple years, and she ignores her friends. And that's just not the type of female character I'm into. I like strong, independent female characters, and I don't mind a little bit of romance here and there, but the whole lovesick, I need a man thing, it's just not for me. The only thing that I liked about this book was the setting. It was Cape Cod / Martha's Vineyard, and I thought that was like a cute beach setting, and that's actually an area that I would really like to go visit someday. So I enjoyed that aspect of it, and it was a well-written book. It wasn't poorly written, it was just not for me. So that's why I ended up giving it 2 stars. And I'm going to do an honorable mention because I started reading this book this month, and I think I have less than 100 pages to go, so I probably will finish it before the end of the month. But it is Cackle by Rachel Harrison. So this is the first spooky read that I have of the year, and I absolutely love this book. It is definitely a 5 out of 5, and I haven't even gotten to the ending yet. It's spooky, it's cute, it has like some small town vibes to it. The main character of this book is actually like the one I just mentioned, where she's all about her man, but she meets a witch named Sophie who's complete opposite of that. She's independent, and she tries to convince her that she just needs to be good on her own, and weird things start happening to her, and they both are kind of creating like a toxic friendship, and it's just very interesting. So I highly recommend that book if you are looking for something witchy, spooky for this autumn. I absolutely love it. So now that we've finished up with books, I just wanted to mention a couple of my favorite things from the month of September that I put down on my phone. The 2 shows that I've been watching are probably no surprise, but Gilmore Girls, of course. I started my fall annual rewatch of that at the beginning of September. I also wanted to watch something a little bit edgy, spooky, so I watched The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I'm still on season 1, and I've seen this a couple times. This is something that I tend to watch every year as well. I did watch a new movie this month. I watched When Harry Met Sally because everybody has recommended that on their fall autumn recommendations for years, so I decided to finally watch it, and I was pleasantly surprised. I actually thought it was pretty cute, very autumnal. I loved Meg Ryan's outfits. Like, I loved the whole like 80s and her 70s hair at the beginning. I really enjoyed the outfits, and it was like stuff I would definitely consider wearing, so I really enjoyed that. So if you haven't seen it, it's pretty cute. It's like a romance, a rom-com, I guess. It's not bad, not overly romantic. So I like that. And then as far as foods, I have been drinking the Chobani pumpkin creamer. Really like that. I think that's one of the better creamers that are pumpkin that are out there this fall. And then I did get the apple cider donuts from Trader Joe's, and those were surprisingly delicious. I'm really shocked that they were that good. I am going to do a Trader Joe's like haul and a review in a later video, not as big as the one that I did last year. I'm gonna definitely minimize it compared to that. So that'll be in a later video as well. And then other than that, I had a pretty decent month. We went to a really good coffee shop that was called Anthos in Castle Shannon. So if you're from the Pittsburgh area, I highly recommend checking out that cafe. I got a raspberry Danish from there, and it was probably one of the best Danishes that I ever had. Like the raspberry jam was just so good, and the coffee was amazing. They were very, very nice. Kevin got an eggs Benedict that was delicious, and I got a breakfast sandwich, which was just okay. But I would definitely recommend checking that out. We did some shopping. That was fun. Went to a couple thrift stores and antiquing, which I love to do. I'm looking forward to October. I can't wait to get outside more, watch the leaves change. I definitely want to try to go for a walk in the woods this weekend because it's been a while since I went out into the woods, and I have so much stuff planned for October. So I'm just really looking forward to it. And then November, we're going to be at Thanksgiving, and then December. I can't believe the year's almost over already, but it is. And we're going to turn back the clocks in a little bit over a month, and yeah, and then it'll be 2024. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you're doing in October, what your plans are. I'd love to hear what everybody's doing this fall. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.